Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the charts behind me, which are of GameStop as well as Chewy. And so I am recording this on Wednesday, July 10th after the market has closed, and GameStop closed at a price of $24.98, just 2 cents under $25, but going up about 3 cents in the after hours so far, or maybe just 1 cent. Actually, it is a little volatile now because we are in the after hours trading session. And then looking over at Chewy, did close at a price of $25.41, being up about 2.38% on the day, but pulling back about 9 cents so far in the after hours. But the reason why I wanted to go over these charts today is actually not because of the charts necessarily, but because of the options, specifically because of some unusual options. And so I saw this tweet here earlier today from Unusual Whales, and I have to say, I don't, as of right now, have an account with them, but I do plan on creating one or subscribing to their services for the month of August, so there should be a lot of pretty cool option stuff that I'll be doing next month, so do look forward to that. But here, looking at this tweet, we can see that Unusual Whales posted that a trader from yesterday, so that will be Tuesday, July 9th, bought new GameStop and Chewy $30 calls for the expiration of July 19th. So that's not this Friday, but next Friday for the monthly contract expirations. And they are still, as of right now, or at least as of this tweet, which was earlier today, still in the calls. Open interest increased by 9,000 contracts for Chewy and 6,000 contracts for GameStop. And so the sizing, timing, and execution looks similar to Roaring Kitty's old plays. And so on that note of Roaring Kitty, I wanted to go over to DFV's GME YOLO update. And so I just refreshed this before recording this video. And so the last post that he had was from June 13th, 27 days ago, when he had exercised his calls, and as of this posting had 9,001,000 shares of GameStop. And as we know from the SEC filing, he also has 9,001,000 shares of Chewy. So did want to be up to date with that. He has not yet updated on his YOLO position. But before getting into the charts and the options tables, I also did want to go over the GameStop and Chewy max pain for July 19th. And so for GameStop, it is $23 for, 2 Fridays from now. This coming Friday, it is $24 a share. And with current price above both of these max pains, we could be setting ourselves up for some volatility to the upside or gamma ramp, gamma squeeze. So that could be, pretty exciting, especially with these bullish calls at the $30 strike. And then looking over at the Chewy max pain, we can see that it is $25 for July 19th. Also for this coming Friday, it is $25. So, right around there, and price is above that, as we know. And so just coming back to this tweet, I'm just going to go over 9,000 calls increase for Chewy and 6,000 for GameStop. And now I am going to switch back over to Webull so we can look at the charts together. And so starting with GameStop, I'm just going to go over to the options table. We can see that for the call expiration of July 19th, we can see that the $30 calls here do have an open interest of 43,000. So relative to the other calls, pretty massive, being the largest one there, but it's also out of the money, so it seems a little bit risky. And as of yesterday, after close, this would have been 6,000 contracts less, so that would be around 37,000 yesterday. We'll see where this is updated at tomorrow, just before open. I suspect it will still be around 40,000, maybe a little bit higher. Following that post, I suspect more people were buying into this, getting some, YOLO out of the money calls for 2 Fridays from now. But I also did want to point out that $25 strike has 27,000, with current price being right around there and yet being above max pain both for this Friday and next Friday. I think things are looking pretty good for some violent moves to the upside. with this 27,000 contracts at $25 strike, and then these, out of the money, very out of the money calls with the $30 strike. 43,000, over 43,000 contracts open right now. And then also I'm going to look at the Chewy options table here, and we can see that for the $30 strike expiring on July 19th, that there are about 25,000, almost 26,000 contracts currently open. And so with the 9,000 that were added over the course of the past couple days, it does look like this would have been around 16 or 17,000 at the close of yesterday, as these numbers are updated in the morning. But then if we do look at the other strikes, there aren't really any that stand out, none in the tens plus thousand. But if we do look at the $25 strike that is currently in the money, with the current price being above $25, we can see that there are 8,000 contracts there. And so those are, in the money, pretty safe bet, especially relative to the $30 strike. So I do think that we could be seeing a lot of upside for Chewy as well as GameStop. But now I'm just going to flip over to the GameStop chart and go over some of the levels I have previously gone over and some of the new ones that I've just recently added. I will do the same for Chewy, and I did try to clean up the charts just with the levels that stand out to me as being most significant. And so one of those that I did add, I've mentioned it in previous videos, that is this blue line here at $17.46. That is a gap that was created before this big move to the upside. We have not yet tested it. So far we've gotten as low as $17.70 on May 24th, but have not filled that gap. So there is a possibility that we go down and fill that, but I think that the chart is just set up really nicely, especially with that options activity, for price to be going higher. So I don't really think that we will be coming down to 17.46 or the low here of 17.70. I also previously had $20 a share on here before. I don't think that we're coming down to that level either. And I have gone over this 786 here at $21.69. I also don't think that we are going to be going to that level either, as we have been holding above it. I do have this red line marked here at $23.41. That is Roaring Kitty's average based on his last update from June 13th. So, we have been holding just above that level, as I did think that it might be acting as a floor. It does seem like that is the case, as we have gotten some dips below it, but really not seen any closes below it. And then also I do have this uptrend based on these two pivot points, one being the low from May 9th, just before this big run-up, and then the other one being the low of May 24th, when we hit 17.70 following this pullback. And so from those two pivot points, we have more or less respected that over here, maybe getting some wicks below, but ultimately no closes below, so that uptrend does look like it has been holding as support. And then similarly to the 786 that I had drawn here, that we have recently been respecting from this more recent run-up that I have drawn here in yellow, we have been holding the 786, which is at $24.18, currently trading above it. Quite possible we get some wicks below it, but I do think that we have been showing strength holding that level. And then just above it from this white retracement, I do have the golden pocket here, which is the 65% to the 618 retracements, and that ranges from $29.16 up to $30.91, and right in the middle there is $30 a share, which is the call strike for those options that will be expiring next week. And so with that being said, and since we have been holding not only this 786 but also this one in yellow, I do think that we could most definitely be making some moves to $30 over the course of the next week. And if that does happen with all of those options then being moved into the money, we could be seeing a violent move to the upside, which could be topping the highs here right around $48 and could be topping the highs here at 68. $85, as we did see, I believe, in the pre-market about $80 a share. We could be seeing that during market hours in the coming weeks, if not getting to triple digits. So, I think that the chart of GameStop as well as the options activity just looking really, really exciting. So I did want to share that with you guys. But now switching over to the Chewy chart, not as much, violent moves to the upside over here, because I feel like we did get kind of this later squeeze to the upside, but there are still some levels that stand out to me as being pretty important. And so one of those, again, is a gap to the downside here, marked at $16.91. That was the close from May 28th. Then we did gap up. Again, just like the gap with GameStop, I don't think that we're going to be filling that, but it is good to be aware that that gap is down there. And then moving up from that, I do have this uptrending level based on the low from May 29th, which was 1916, and then coming up to this other pivot low here from June 17th at a price of $21.89. So from those two pivot points, it looks like we've been testing it a lot, but we have not really had any significant closes. You could argue this one on July 3rd was a close below it or right around that level, but we haven't really seen anything suggesting that this level is breaking, just that it is being tested. And then also I have this yellow line here marked at $25 a share. I kind of just wanted to have that there because it is an important level, and because of this run-up that we've seen, it is a little bit dissimilar to GameStop where we don't have two run-ups. I did have this yellow level there that we have been holding, and so similar to that, we have been holding, or at least just reclaimed, $25 a share with Chewy. So I think that is looking pretty good. Also, I do have this Fibonacci retracement going from the low of $14.69 hit on April 25th, going up to the high of $39.10. From that, we have the golden pocket here marked from $23.23 up to $24.01, and we have been respecting that. Even though we have been testing that uptrend, we have respected the 618, so I think that's looking pretty good. And then also, I do have purple marking $30 a share here, kind of marking the tops here other than this big wick up, and so I do think that will be a level to contend with. Also, that corresponding with the 382 from the retracement at a price of $29.78. But, if these options are starting to get moved into the money, as we are seeing that with the $25 strike, 8,000 contracts there, if price does start to go higher, we also have nearly 9,000 contracts at $27.50, and then again at $30 strike, 25, almost 26,000 contracts there, so looking pretty good. But, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care, you guys.